Well, it's about 8:15 in the morning, and I'm in the middle of the countryside because my car needs an MOT, and this is the nearest reputable MOT garage around here. There are cheaper places nearer home, but I don't trust them, so I come out here. It's about 15 minutes, 20 minutes from where I live. But you get to walk around some nice scenery while you're waiting. This is a footpath, probably 100 yards from the garage. The garage is one of about 20 buildings either side of a country lane, and that's it. There's nothing else in the area apart from scattered houses, as you'll see when I pan round to the left to reveal where we are. Seen something very interesting. There's a bicycle under a tree. That tree there looks, I think it might be an oak, I have no idea. For some reason that suggests oak to me. There's actually a bicycle at the bottom of that tree. I can't zoom in because this is my phone cam. It's a very basic camera. It's got very good resolution, 1080p, but that's about it. It's going to shake a lot, can't do nothing about that. I'm afraid my arms aren't steady. That's the way it is. This is where I am this morning. I thought we'd do a nice little MOT walk today. Ploughed fields, wild area. Well, this is basically a footpath stroke drive off the country lane, and this is, I'm just following it to see where it goes. Unfortunately, it's just started to rain quite heavily, so I'm standing under a tree for some protection at the moment. And although I don't mind a bit of rain, I've got about an hour's wait, and the last thing I want is to be soaking wet for an hour, so I'm going to try and avoid getting too wet. But I've just found out where the owner of that bicycle is. You can't see it on screen, but he's over there, or she is, picking some of this produce, whatever it is. I don't believe I've ever seen anything like this before. This is one for you. Plant lovers. Got any knowledge? It's a whole row of it. And there's a slightly different variation on it here. One's white, one's like a lilac-y colour, slightly smaller. Again, it's quite a bit of it. It hasn't grown as well as the other, but it's still there. Apparently this is the end of the line. Where you can see the hedge up front is actually another little country lane. So I'm assuming that's, well, that pretty much is the end of the walk. The fence or the gate here is not locked, so I'm presuming it's just a way of keeping loose livestock in, because it does look a little like there's a few farm areas, but it also looks a bit like there's allotments. This is probably the country version of allotments. In the towns they're locked up under padlock and key and all sorts of strict rules, but this seems just like an open area here. It doesn't look professional enough to be a proper farmer, although there are some heavy tools used, you can tell. I'm guessing this is the locals who live in all these big houses around here, houses like that one. There's another one over there in that direction. There's one over in that direction there. Like I said, they're scattered about all over the place. There's houses over that way and that way. I'm guessing they've all got a little plot on here, an acre or so. I don't know what an acre is exactly, but I'm sure that's pretty much half to 1 acre there. Same as this plot here, you can pretty much make out the borders of. There seem to be those. There's another one here which is just grass. It's obviously a horses or some kind of, I'm saying horses, it could be sheep, it could be anything they keep in there. How's that for a piece of log? That's about 2'8" by about 2'6", and what we say, 12-15 foot long. A big old piece of log. Take a bit of time to chop that up with an axe. That oak tree stroke whatever it is the other side of the tree I was talking about with the bicycle, so it's not that long of a path really. A couple of our equine friends over there with their jackets, winter jackets on in the middle of July. Isn't that funny? Hey? Funny year this year. I was watching a lot of programme just recently. It reckons that the weather's about 6 weeks behind this year in the UK. The growing season's not, well, the growing season is about 6 weeks behind for some reason. You can't see it, but there's the occasional poppy dotted about in the fields as well. I don't know what them things are, those tall grasses, but they do look, I don't know, they suggest garlic to me, but again I ain't got a clue, I'm only guessing. Who knows what any of this stuff is. It's all planted in neat rows, as you can see, so it's not random. Although it's not tended very well, or very often either, by the looks of things. Cool. It's very rural smelling at the moment, I have to say. Mixture of poop and death is what I'm getting at the moment. Nice. And yes, I do know what death smells like. I've done some work in undertakers in the past. You get to know that smell very well. Yes, I was in the embalming rooms, blah blah blah, with the bodies. Yes, saw them, smelt them, been there, done that. It's not a pleasant smell, and it's a smell you never forget. Well, that's pretty much it for this walk. Right, I know I said it was pretty much it, but I just spotted something over that way. I'm a bit further up the trail back towards where I began, by where the mechanics is. There's just a view here across this field. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on this tiny little screen. Some of those of you who can put it on the big TVs might be able to blow it up big enough to see, but there's a house over there with some very expensive looking tree houses in the back. Their land seems to have a forest or a small wooded area in it. It's hardly a forest unless you live in Pennsylvania, I suppose. But it's there's probably a couple of hundred trees there. The proper trees that have been there for a couple of thousand years, probably, not a couple of hundred. Well, I reckon there's probably £20,000 worth of tree houses in the garden there just for the kids to play in. Now that's people with money. We'll do this bit here, see if we can get away with it. It's going to be very shaky because the ground's very uneven, and as I say, I'm using my phone. There's a house just there. Another house just there. The house you can see at the end of the drive is actually the country lane area. That's a modern block of flats. Obviously somebody sold up their place, took the money and left, or died and the family sold it and took the money, which is a shame, because I can't see the need for a block of flats in a place like this. apple tree just there. No idea, but I'm going to guess that they are crab apples. Quite a few apple trees there. These I know are Hypericum because I used to have one in my front garden when I lived up north, and I believe it's the Hypericum hidcoat. I'm sure somebody will tell me I'm wrong and tell me it's the Rose of Shannon, but I believe the Rose of Shannon has long strangly bits and the flower part, whereas that one doesn't, they're short. I'm getting into the area, the built up area now, so I'm going to stop filming. Right, this is the country lane where I am. That's the path I've just been down. As you can see, the houses stop just there. And you've got this. And literally the houses stop where you can see the headlights on the road up there. You can possibly just see a white building in front of us. That's where the mechanics is. There you go, that's the mechanics there. Not the white building, the bit behind it.